If you keep holding this SHIT until January, February, you are finished.
Yeah, I think the time of sitting on the sidelines is over.
So you think it's a trader's market right now?
100% of the traders market.
This thing is so simple. It's just a matter of, do you have the capital to deploy?
If you have some strong alts that you think will do exceptionally well from here, or even well enough to cause a little decent pump, I reckon it's time for you to get in.
The content presented in this podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be considered as financial advice, and listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research or consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Crypto flip.
So in today's episode, we'll be looking at the total crypto market cap, which reached a new all-time high. We'll also be talking about Google and some of the bad things that they've been wanting to do, with them wanting to remove crypto wallet from their Play Store. And US PPI rose higher than expected, and we'll see what happened as a result in the markets. But before we get into any of that, you know what we have to do? We have to check in with the DJs in the space and first do some crypto confessions. So, made $400,000 earlier this year trading memes. Didn't tell anyone, as was waiting for my report to hit 7 figures before I touch it or tell my parents or anyone. Right now, I have just $17 left. Still using my broken Android and living in struggle. I got no clue how to stack those bucks again. My life is effed, man. I'm dead inside. What do you man make of that?
Yo, I'll go first. Oh, you like you to go first?
I don't mind. You know, like, it sounds like my man did extremely well. And you know, when you start, like, I don't know, this was like, there's an aspect of self-sabotage here. You know, when you feel like, yeah, I'm doing too well, I'm going to do some crazy-ish. And then it just sounds like my man just looked at the whole market like it was a casino and then just lost his peas, bro. At the end of the day, I would say I feel sorry for my man, but I just don't. Like, how can you go from 400 bags to $17, bro? Like, what did you do? And I love how my man he added no details of what memes. He's just like, yeah, I was trading memes. Like, you traded memes on your way up, and then, yeah, you just, bruh, I don't know, man. Do you know what it is, though? Like, the biggest obvious thing here is man took some big bets on some big memes early in the year. We know what memes was doing early in the year, bro. January, you had the Trumps, the Melanias. The market was unforgivingly rewarding to everyone involved, bro. And then obviously he must have bag held. He must have bag held his Pengu too low. Bag held his Trump, his Melania. And now it's not worth anything. Hold tight, he was trying to wait until his figs hit 7, his portfolio hit 7 figs. Like, what was going to make your portfolio hit 7 figures? Just finger crossing and waiting for tokens to be wild. Nah, man. No strategy. Unfortunately, no win. Simple as that.
Honestly, man, you really covered most of the points. And like, I think for me, what this looks like for me from outside looking in is that this is overconfidence. Because if you weren't overconfident, you were certain in those meme coins. You were certain Pengu's going to $1. You believed the hypes in the community reviews on Telegram. You ate the Kool-Aid. You drank the Kool-Aid. That's literally what it is. Because what in your right mind will make you think fuck coin is going to $10? Like, even if it is going to $10, maybe the next cycle, maybe it will proliferate in the alt season and it will reach close to that. But we were early. Like, I could confidently say, looking back now, that alt season, that meme coin mania was not at the end of the, like, that didn't give me end of cycle vibes. It was literally like, cool, this is Hello Kitty all over again on steroids. That's literally what it was. So for you to be so confident that your meme coin was not gonna drop, you back held. But at least one thing I say you did well is you didn't tell nobody, because you didn't tell nobody, you can go to your grave with this thing. Because you caught me, I will cook you, I will roast you alive, because this is malpractice. Why can't you just take 100 grand, gamble with it, and keep the other to the cake? But you anyway, gamblers are the gamblers, and listen, that you just gambling. I don't care what you tell me. You had no strategy. And when you're trained meme day in, day out, you're a gambler. Simple as. Because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if it's the next ship. You don't know if it's the next dodge. You don't know. We're gambling. Hoping it sticks. Anyway, Harris, what do you think?
You know what, yeah? When you really put this into perspective, he's gone from a 2 or 3 bedroom house to a Happy Meal. You know, maybe with some extra sides or something like that.
Oh my God.
So it's just like,
Bro, that's unfair.
you've gone from like a generational win to a generational L. It's just $17. Like, when you look at that, you must think, raw, like, how did I get here? Have you ever seen those movies where you see this guy in like a compromising position? It's like, oh, we're probably wondering how I ended up here. Like, I'm wondering how you ended up there. Like, you probably invested in Libra, all of these mad tokens, and then, you know, one thing led to another, and then here we are. But normally I have words of encouragement, but this time I think you just need to look for something else, because there's no way back. There's no way back. But yeah, on to the next one. My dad gave me $50,000 to purchase Bitcoin for him. However, instead of doing so, I began trading with his funds. I made a substantial profit, but when the news of the Bank of Japan raising interest rates broke, I was liquidated and I lost my father's money. Consequently, I stopped trading and now adopt a buy and hold strategy. I'm currently $20,000 short of recovering my funds. What do you make of that?
All right, so lost 50K. On your way back, now you're at 30K out of the original 50. On the face of it, it doesn't sound too bad, right? You're 20K down, and you learned some really good lessons. The problem is, bro, your dad gave you that 50K when BTC was 50K. So in your dad's mind, he's got 100, 120 bags there waiting for him. And that's not the case, bruv. Because right now, there's not even 50. I reckon you just have to fess up and tell him, yo, listen, I know you want the games, but, you know, I'm really close back to the original figure. Like, your boy messed up, but you get me. It could have been worse. I could have threw it all on Ponke. I don't know.
Let me tell you this here. Every cycle is littered with the bodies of perpetrators. Every single cycle. What are you doing? Just buy the Bitcoin and hold. Buy it and hold. Listen.
But that's not exciting, bro. That's not exciting.
Yeah, it's not. It's okay, cool. Okay, cool. You want to be risky? Cool. Buy 40 grand and to play with 10 grand. We just saw one Dunny trade from $6,000 to back to like 6 figures again. It's definitely doable. So for you to, you have to fess up, because your dad's probably expecting 100 bags minimum, because from the point where he said buy Bitcoin, you know he's in tracking that stuff. Yeah. I'm up 2x. I'm up. Well, facts. You tell him you only got my initial investment. Nah. We're beefing. So better just fess up. He's gonna have to fess up, because I don't think how he's gonna get. And this Dunny sounds mad young. He sounds like a young kid. Like, a lot of these confessions, what they have in common is that they're just very young-minded. Like, you know what I mean? Trying to get a Lambo too far, trying to keep up with his boy, and that. To me, like, it's just unnecessary. And that's why just play it safe, because crypto is really risky enough. You don't know. You could get a mad 30% drop out of nowhere. You need to always be prepared. And that's what happened. I remember when this Bank of Japan rise interest rate happened. I was worried for my portfolio, and I wasn't even in a lot of pep trade. I was mostly like holding, and I was worried. Imagine burps. I would have just fainted, fam.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're gambling with your dad's money, first and foremost. But I don't know. Well, I probably do know. You're probably sitting there, as most people do, on crypto Twitter, on YouTube, in Telegrams, thinking, like, money to be made. Let me see what if I could do a quick 2x, 3x, put my dad's money back and then have a little bit of cheese for myself. But boy, when people get too greedy, that's what happens. But fortunately for you, this could have gone like super less, and you could be back at zero or even worse. But in your case, you're more than halfway there. I think if you leave it, you'll be able to get back to like what the original investment was. So your dad wouldn't have lost any money. Obviously, he's going to be a bit angry, but he'll get over it as long as you're, pretty direct with him and you don't actually lose any more. But yeah, don't do that again, man. Don't do that again.
One thing I know for sure is trust gone. You're gonna have to rebuild that back because, boy, I'm never giving you any money again, fam.
Even if he gives you the initial back.
No, because like I don't feel confident giving you money to do something for me and you do it because you've proven that your words can't be trusted. Like you went and gambled away the money anyway. So I'll give you another 100 G's. What's stopping you from doing the same thing again? Nothing. Because this time you might try.
He's gonna have to lie. When he gets back to 50, he's gonna have to lie and be like, Dad, sorry, I forgot to put the money in. I still got the original, but
that's not gonna fly.
he's gonna have to lie.
That's not gonna fly.
It was just in USDT. I forgot to actually press buy it.
Yeah, I thought I pressed the button, but I didn't.
You're the better lie than that, bro.
Welcome back to the Crypto Flip Podcast. I am your host, Harris King, and I am joined once again with my co-hosts, Ricardo and Deji. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening on audio platforms, don't forget to leave a review. It really helps. It really does. And right now, MEXC is offering a $5 USDT welcome bonus. So check the description for more details. So this was a huge, and I mean huge, week for crypto. The total crypto market cap reached a new all-time high of 4.1 trillion with a T, not billion, not hundreds of millions, but $4 trillion worth of value. And with that, we had other all-time highs, like Bitcoin reached a new all-time high. This was short-lived, but it reached an all-time high of $124,000. So, there's records being broken all over the place. And the real question is, if you haven't deployed any capital or if you still want exposure to the market, what do you now do given where we are in this cycle? What do you guys think?
Well, got new all-time highs from Bitcoin, 124. We have Ethereum doing madness, like currently super, super close to its all-time high. I think all-time high was between 4,800 and 4,900. So like we're less than like 5% away. What you should do right now, based on where the market's going, I don't think this is the end of the market. I think historically, when you look through BTC and ETH and how they perform in the month of August, normally it's not the best. But if July is strong, then August tends to be a pretty decent month. And we saw a new all-time high last month, and we saw ETH ripping crazy last month. So I can only make the assumption that things will be good again this month. So we might end the month on an up. I think, to be deadly honest, the whole preconceived notion of a market cycle, i.e. Bitcoin pumps the crazy numbers, and then you have Ethereum pump, and then you have from Ethereum, we start to rotate and see some smaller cap coins. I say smaller, some smaller majors like, BNB, blah, 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 doing well based on the fact that money's coming out of BTC ethers, people chase other gains. I think that notion is kind of like far left and potentially gone. Because like I said last week, I see only a few tokens in the top 50 making new all-time highs over the course of the last 3 months. However, if you have some strong alts that you think will do exceptionally well from here, or even well enough to cause a little decent pump, I reckon it's time for you to get in. The only hesitation is, obviously, seeing as we've got a whole new total market high, like all-time high for the total market cap at 4.1 trillion, obviously, we're in a crazy place now where we're like, are we in price discovery? I don't feel like we're in price discovery. I don't feel like I'm not we hit discovery. Exactly. I don't feel like we hit price discovery yet. So is it safe to put, this is not financial advice, is it safe to put some money in the market right now? I would say yes. I would say I'm actively still putting money in the market because at the end of the day, I don't know. I just don't feel like there's a large amount of risk getting in the market now, before we get to a phase where ETH starts price discovery, and then potentially some really big alts with massive cult following, i.e., XRP Solana, start breaking new all-time highs and enter price discovery as well. So, yeah, I'm keeping it calm. I bought some late this week, for no real good reason, and I went leverage 10x. Obviously, the interest rate thing, it wiped me down a bit, so I'm like 20% down. But I'm happy with a little drop before a massive pump. Realistically, I think ETH might come back down to like 4,200, 300 before we see a new all-time high. But I'm not gonna bet on it. So now's a good time to get in low if you want to make short-term gains over the next 3 months, I reckon.
But what about long-term gains though? Because in long-term gain doesn't matter.
Don't get in.
Say it again.
Long term, don't get in. I don't think we're in a market right now where we should dollar cost average. I think if you dollar cost average at where the market is now, i.e., bouncing around all time highs, then when the bear market comes, and it will come, like next year will be a bear market most likely. You're gonna be kicking yourself like, I bought Bitcoin at 120K when right now it's at 75, 80, doing nothing at those mad prices.
So you think it's a trader's market right now?
100% it's a trader's.
Keep that in there.
100% of the traders market. That confession we had where my man's like buy and hold is a strategy. Right now, it's looking like it's working for you. But bro, if you wait until this market turns, if you keep holding this SHIT until January, February, you are finished. Finished.
Like I said, SHIT. Well, I think we can get, because like anyway, I'm glad you I think you're now on a similar stance on this. I think definitely there isn't a lot of risk putting money in the market, because if you look at the inflows, I mean, this thing is so simple. It's just a matter of, do you have the capital to deploy? Because if you do, and you have a strong conviction, this trade was telegraphed. I mean, I saw Ricardo last weekend, and it was like, bro, as soon as they hit 4,200, winter place lungs. Bro, they hit 4,200, it accelerated.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Because he said it, like, dude, it's a trader's market. Like, literally, that was a perfect point to long it, or even lower. If you bought spot, good for you. You know what I mean? It's definitely time to put money in the market. I know you can be cautious because you can have a pullback, and that can be 30%. When we get to a point of the cycle where we're getting multiple 30% pullbacks over, let's say, a month period, then I could say, cool, we're close to the end of the market. Maybe we should be more, on the short side and long side. But I think right now it's still, the bulls have controlled the market. The ETF inflow has just been crazy to me. Fidelity bought this morning, BlackRock bought yesterday, and they've been buying ETH. Then whilst ETH is cooling off, business is ripping again. I'm just like, dude, it's time. Whether it's long in it, because obviously I can't fathom, personally, because I'm not a millionaire yet, I can't fathom buying one Bitcoin at 124K. I just can't. So I'd rather just take my trades, alt, Bitcoin, all the top, and it's got blue chip tokens, and just long those, because that way I'm confident, like, I can make money in the short term, and if we correct, that's a good opportunity to maybe scaling into spot or even long again for a better reward. So I'm a Rick on this one. I think it's definitely time to deploy money, because like, I wouldn't short the charts I'm seeing. You can't short these. Like, I will not be confident shorting that ETH at resistance. Like, I'm just not confident doing that. I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do that. So, personally, I think it's time to scale in. Whatever your strategy is, if you want to buy and hold, do you. You just need to know how to, because with traders, you're forced to liquidate your positions, because you got to calculate your risk and make sure, I got to make sure I'm done with this kind of trade by this time so I can lock in the gains. But when you're back holding, you're always hoping and clinging to hope. One more pump. So whether or not, no one can tell you where this market is going right now. But right now, there's money to be made, and it's time to scale it.
Yeah, I think the time of sitting on the sidelines is over, and I think it's time to get your positions ready, especially if you want to get into alts, potentially even memes, simply because we are in towards the final inning, and you don't want to get into your positions when things are already pumping. Now, obviously, you want to be sure. God,
can you explain to us what inning means? What inning are we in? Because I'm not familiar with baseball terms, so maybe you can explain that a little bit.
Fair. So, like, I'm not really a baseball connoisseur either, but to my understanding, there's 4 innings, and for us, it just represents, what stage of the market cycle we're in. Obviously, first inning is beginning, 4th inning is the end. So we're closer to the end than the beginning. I think we've already passed the halfway point. So for us, for people who are, serious about the market and interested in making money as far as crypto is concerned, we know that towards the end of the market is when you traditionally get most of your returns. So you really need to be positioned before things start going parabolic, because you don't want to wake up and things are like 50% up, 80% up, 2x, 3x. And we know things can move irrationally. And you don't want to be catching like a falling knife, when things turn, or if things, I say it definitely will turn at some point. So, yeah, I think getting your positions now and then just checking regularly to make sure that, you're in the right narratives, invalidating your positions if you're wrong. This will not, and I repeat, this will not be the market of everything rises just because it's altcoin season, but everything rises just because, it's memes are exploding. So you really need to be selective about what you are in, and there needs to be a level of patience, but I think you need to be willing to say, I was wrong. Let me see. Okay, AI is pumping now. Let me jump back into AI and see, where the catch-up trade is, or if there's still more room to run. Otherwise, you get left behind. So, I think those are some of the things that you need to be wary of. And what else you need to be wary of, apparently, is Google, because Google drops plans to ban the non-custodial crypto wallets from the Play Store following backlash. Allegedly, Google, there was a new Google Play Store policy which forced AML and KYC on non-custodial wallets in the US, and it effectively banned non-custodial developers from the Play Store in the EU. But Google have since said that this wasn't actually meant to affect the sort of the non-custodial wallets, and they're working on fixing that. I don't know if that's just PR and they just want to save face, or whether this was a genuine mistake. But I think it also comes at a time which is very interesting, because the Solana Seeker phones have been starting to be distributed, and I know we all got one. So it begs the question: should we start, as a crypto community, start focusing on more crypto native platforms? How do you sort of assess the whole thing?
Well, Google banning apps on the Play Store is an absolute joke, bro. Like, the fact that they're now targeting crypto wallet apps because a couple of people complained that they lost money because they are bitch and they can't trade their own wallet. That's on them, bro. That should be like the whole idea of self-custody. But the fact that Google are swinging around saying we're going to ban certain apps, bro, that is centralized companies doing centralized things at the end of the day. It's their platform. They basically have a monopoly. The Google Store and the App Store have a monopoly on app distribution on all mobile devices, bro. They just do. I don't know who owns more, but it's definitely close, depending on where you are in the world. Anyway, so the fact that they're doing this just means that they're just like, yeah, we're just going to take a stand and ban loads of apps. Apple's been doing this for a while. It's quite hard to get through the Apple review process if you're a crypto company, or especially if you're a crypto wallet doing anything DeFi. This is why there was no Hyperliquid mobile application that we can access in the UK, which is, whatever. But yeah, the other thing is, so the Solana Seeker device, shout out, because I should be getting mine, and I think we all should have our NFTs, our Chapter 2 NFTs. On the wallet that we used to pay for it. Yeah, we got a Chapter 2 NFT. It's in the wallet that you used to pay for it. I posted it a couple of days ago.
Oh, I missed that. I missed that. Yeah. Exactly. I did.
Yeah, you got that. I might try to sell mine straight away, but I don't know if it has any value. Anyway, my thing's coming in 5 days. But yeah, so the thing is that also runs Android, bro. So that runs Android.
That's the problem.
Yeah, the only difference between that device and a regular Android device, other than being, some might say, more expensive, is that you can tap on the side and then you give an app permission to your seed, like the wallet on the device, like your seed vault. then they can go in there and they can use your seed to do whatever. So think of it as like a ledger that also has a whole operating system tied to it. The problem is, obviously the phone is itself quite a tell that you have crypto. So anyone with Solana Seeker, I don't recommend you walk around the streets of New York or the streets of London, or definitely not the streets of Paris, bro. Paris is me getting mad right now.
But yeah, they will never catch me in Paris. Not even trying to go first, bro.
But yeah, Google doing Google things doesn't surprise me. I think this is going to mean that some wallet companies are just going to be potentially losing some customers. I don't know how they're going to maintain people that already had the app on their device. They probably just won't let them update it, which means people are going to have to take their seeds out, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, all of these companies are just going to have to figure it out because they have no power to do anything else, bro.
Wait, but has this been executed? Are they not already started blocking, or it was just
No.
So it was in news.
So basically, they reversed the decision and they said it was a mistake. So it's not. It shouldn't happen.
It's gotta be a mistake, because why would you? Because recently, didn't Trump pass this anti-war against crypto companies? Yeah, but that banking, obviously, and Google's not a bank, but it sure operates like one. And this is just an extra revenue that you don't need to reject. Like, two people losing money versus people that actually want to do whatever they want to do with their money. It's up to them what they want to do with their money. Don't tell a man what to do with their money. So, to me, like Ricardo said, centralized company doing centralized things is not a surprise. But at the same time, I will be shocked because even Apple's not doing this. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's harder. Once Apple approves you, they approve you. You know what I mean? But then again, to just immediately start axing non-custodial wallets is just ridiculous to people. Like, there's just no need to wage a war that's not necessary. And on top of this, following this news, I heard there was a rumor that they bought into a mining company. They bought 8% stake in a mining company. I don't know how true that is. I'll have to figure that out. But personally, I just don't see that being a move for Google when Bitcoin just supplanted their capitalization, and ETF is. Wait, you think that I can block it?
No, I think it's cat that they bought that stake in the mining company. Just because remember it was, I think it was the end of last year, early this year, that they announced that they have like this new quantum computer that can do all sorts. Bro, if they had that, they wouldn't be invested in Bitcoin, because I feel like they'd be using that or replicating that to mine Bitcoin. Why would they then jump in a stake of another company using regular GPUs to mine Bitcoin? That THC is counterintuitive.
Yeah, or just simplify it and just buy some BlackRock ETF. You know what I mean? You're getting exposure into that too. So it's like quite complicated. But anyway, like I said, there's no verification this news is real. So yeah.
No, I think that if it was a genuine mistake, fair enough. Maybe it was just a broad terms and conditions update that, affected crypto companies when that wasn't their intention. But I think often you kind of have to look at things at face value, and I don't necessarily think it was a mistake. I think a lot of high-profile people on X, were up and outrage as they should be. And, it was just overreach. And I think we're seeing a lot of overreach generally across the board in the UK and a lot of different places. So I think a lot of people and a lot of companies, a lot of entities, a lot of governments are really trying to overstep the mark and seeing what they can get away with. And I think it's very easy to backtrack and say, oh, it was an accident. But if nobody had said anything, I wonder really whether we would have seen a retraction. But it's hard to say. But I think that... I think that developers, companies, and whatnot should start looking at other ways in which to distribute their applications. Solana Seeker is one, but as Rick rightly pointed out, if we start moving to crypto native devices, then you just become a target. So that then becomes an issue in and of itself. So it's a bit of a difficult one on how do you solve that. But I think for now, a lot of these centralized platforms are obviously going to be where most people are going to spend their time in the app stores and whatnot. So we just have to make do and best utilized with the
and
things that we
one
have.
more thing as well. Well, based on what Harry said before, if you're in the fourth quarter, if you're in the first inning of this market cycle, and obviously, like the whole 4-year cycle might not be a cycle anymore, might not be something that we can use as a guidance anymore. But it's always, after a bull market, there's always a bear market. It's a moment of correction. That's always happened. So let me just remember that. But the point I'm trying to make is, at the end of the day, like, this fourth quarter is where you're going to see a lot of trading volumes on these exchanges, which means more revenue for you. You know what I mean? So, like, why would you say no to such? Like, you know what I mean? If we balloon up to $12 trillion market cap now, I'm just hoping if we do, that's a mad volume for these wallets. So why would you say no to money? That's not Google's way. I think they'll stick to making the right decision and reverse it, which if it has already been reversed, I will take it from there. It's like, bro, it's like GBT. It's like GBT. When they released GBT5, trying to post down our throat, after people complain, they brought back the legacy model. They brought back 4.5. So my time for them to bring back the rest. You know what I mean?
Someone else who could complain are the citizens of the US, because US PPI rises to 3.3%, which is higher than expectations. And as a result, we had over 100 billion wiped out from the crypto markets in the past 24 hours. So that new all-time high in Bitcoin, came back down to reality a little bit, temporarily, and it's obviously started to regain some of that momentum that it lost. But what do you make of that? I mean, people are still expecting rate cuts in September. And most people are suggesting that it's a case of how big rather than if. And something else to consider is that there will be a new Fed chair, I believe, next year, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a couple of interesting things when it comes to PPI and inflation and things like that.
Yeah, market taking a massive tumble after this is unfortunate, but I guess makes sense. Obviously, if interest rates have gone up, if inflation's gone up, then the amount of money that people have in their pockets is less, because the price of your eggs, your milk, blah blah, your bread has also gone up to you. So you now have to spend more money. I don't know. I feel like the sell-off was higher than I expected it to be. Like what did you say? 100 billion in liquidations.
Is that 100 billion? I think so. It's 100 billion. Yeah.
That feels a bit extreme. But bro, grand scheme of thing, Bitcoin went from 125 to 119. So basically, it just wiped out bare people that had longs with really tight losses or just really tight liquidity. It just wiped out late loads as well. It wiped up late longs. Some people that saw 124 and thought it's gonna go to 150, I'm gonna long it. So yeah, because that's not even a big move, bro. We're talking like 6% or something like that. And same with ETH. I think maybe potentially some altcoins suffered more than Bitcoin and ETH, which is another symptom of the fact that people are just like, yeah, man, I don't need to eat. I'm just gonna buy some ETH. So yeah, we're in a market right now. We're in a bull market. Pullbacks happen. I would even say this was a correction, bro, because in my mind, correction 20% plus. This was a light breeze to remind you not to be over leveraged in the market.
My guy said, light breeze, wake up.
Light breeze and wake up. Little mist break.
You know what? Yeah, personally for me, people that are watching interest rate, and there's quite a few traders that love to watch interest rate because sometimes you raise debts and then you gotta make sure you get a good deal, and then your margin calls and stuff like that. All these things are affected by interest rates. So this rise in PPI, I think, currently is slated is 92% probability that the Fed will cut interest rate. BOE already cut interest rate last month. It was this month they cut interest rate. I think it was this month, right? So I think you get a situation where instead of cutting, because the market thinks there's a rate cut coming. There could be potential where there's another delay or another hold. And Trump is crying again on X. So that's where I see this PPI having a bigger impact, in my opinion, if things don't pick up. And if unemployment rate is also gone up, that's not good for the short term. I think long term, structurally, if you look at higher time frames, you know what I mean? There's no market structure break yet for you to start considering, okay, cool, well, we'll correct it for 30%. I'm not seeing it yet. So, people are flushing people. These are people that are holding spot, or people that are being bag holding and never sold. They didn't even feel nothing. It was people that felt this, or people that bought perps. So you got to be careful when you place your trades and when you come in. So, as a long term, it's something to watch. But in the short term, I think we're still okay. I think so.
Yeah, I think if you're in spot, it's nothing really to worry about. It's something just to be aware of. But if you are, using leverage and trading futures, then you need to be aware, because that whole game is something that you need to be very, very conscious of. And you don't want to get wiped out on just a wick down, which is easy to do. So otherwise you end up as our next confession. But overall, I think that, as long as we continue to build this momentum, we should be able to, push forward, assuming that, the rate cut comes in when we expect it in September. I think if the rate cut doesn't come in September, then we have to raise some question marks about, what actually what the significance of that is. But I think that it's unlikely, and if it doesn't, then obviously you'll have to deal with it from there, and it's not going to be the end of crypto if it doesn't. It's just another catalyst that everybody's waiting for. But with the fact that everybody is waiting for it, what do you think? Do you think that is already priced in?
I think it is already priced in. But at the same time...
So you don't think we're going to pump?
I think we're going to pump, but I just think a lot of the positive sentiment is already priced into where the market's at. Bro, I feel like we said from way back, like January, the top of the market is like 200K. Bro, we're not that far. Like we're not that far. So, well, in my opinion, anyway. So, I feel like potentially the interest rate, the rate cuts are priced in, but I feel like there still needs to be some more catalysts to take things up another level. And it's not going to be this, China on-ban Bitcoin, Russia on-ban Bitcoin. We need like, we need something. Yeah. We need like, Satoshi's wallet. Satoshi's decided to burn his wallet. Bro, that would be mad for Bitcoin. Satoshi has burnt all his tokens, bro. He's already done it to an address. Burn.
Jeez. When that Satoshi wallet moves, people are going to be nervous, but
imagine it's a burn address, bro.
Oh, well, yeah. Then that'll be bullish, bro. Why would you? I don't see him burning. He might donate it. Why would you burn the entire wallet? That's just crazy.
Bro, burn. He's got like, I can't remember how much he's got. Let's say he's got 1 million tokens. He burns the whole million. Instead of 21 million Bitcoin, bro, we got 20 million now. Scarcity.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. That will be bullish. But didn't you say something about potentially we could get a 0% CGT on crypto? That could be bullish as well. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you saw some news around, US. It's a funding tactic. Basically, they're stacking Bitcoin without buying, but they're buying. Like, it's really confusing article. And essentially what they're saying is they're not going to sell. They're going to backhold and then try and get more. But how they're going to get more hasn't been cleared out yet. But we'll see. But overall, I mean, the market looks good, I think, and I mean, I wouldn't be placing shorts here, because market has. If you start seeing more and more like pullbacks, and they're more aggressive than before, then cool, talk to me then. Right now, I think things look good. I mean, that little flush was just an opportunity, a little minor dip.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to start looking at dips as opportunity at this stage of the market. And with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.